GM. Today is Friday, August 29th, 11:30 a.m. God's time, 3:30 p.m. Euro time. Welcome. If you didn't hear the news, Soul pumped, people died.
Follow me for more tips.
Follow me for more advanced trading tips. It is crazy that it has become the leading indicator of underperformance, like short-term underperformance for the market.
Let me.
You could look. I think it's literally maybe the last 6 to 8 times that Sol on the daily has outperformed BTC or ETH. Like if you look at the ETH BTC, the Sol BTC, Sol ETH charts, anytime that it starts outperforming, like for a day, the whole market nukes. And the funny thing was the other day, like 2 days ago, when I sent that to you, Marty, about like Sol being up, it was like 25 minutes into daily open, right? Like the day hadn't even started yet. And when my buddy sent me that, he was like, oh fuck. It was like only 0.25% up, but I was like, dude, we're not even a half an hour into opening, and like we can't make these types of rash assumptions just yet. And he's like, dude, just watch. And here
That's all you have to do. When Sol outperforms, you just had to be prepared. If you look at the Bitcoins, right, and the ETH, and let's just say the crypto in general, like ES was, which is U.S. futures, ES, the E-mini S&P futures topped yesterday at like all-time high, right? Amazing. And crypto has been going down for a week, 2 weeks, since the 13th, since the 14th. Crypto is still the first mover. And, if you were trying to short TradFi for the last 2 weeks, you got absolutely rinsed because it was just all-time high, pretty much. Well, all-time high yesterday. It was just grinding up for the past 2 weeks. But now Sol outperformed.
Look at it.
Look at that. Crypto died. Jesus.
Sol pumped and crypto died.
That's all you had to know. No, and even now, like we're sitting at 108 Bitcoin, 4,300
43-ish ETH. Yeah, we'll give or take.
44.8 HYPE, XRP 2.8. Then if you go into the meme coins, like SPX 6900 is down 10% today, Uni's down 5%.
I'd like to know what that wallet's looking like right now. He was up pretty massively again not long ago, and I'm not asking this to hate on Murad. Although I do think it's funny to like have 8 figs and meme coins and not take anything off the table. More so, I'm just curious because it was such a massive bag, and memes have not been, the darling houses of the industry for the last.
Yeah, but he can't sell, right? We talked about that before. If he sells, the thing just goes down like 10, 20% in like an instant. As soon as the algos are fucking watching his wallets, right? It's always those nasty algos. Dude, even Oracle's down 7% today, and Alibaba's up 11%. So Alibaba is coming out with a chip to compete with NVIDIA.
Really? Alibaba is?
The Babas. Jack Ma. It's up, I think it peaked like 12, 13% this morning. It was just like straight up.
Jeez. I haven't used Alibaba in quite some time.
Well, there's the NVIDIA chip that they were told that they can't sell to China. Right? Amazing.
Yeah, what was this thing also about, like the U.S. wanting like 15% of revenue or some shit, or dividends? Like I saw some weird thing about.
Well, they bought a nice percentage of Intel, or they were given. Is this bribery? Is this are we just nationalizing companies now? Like, I don't get it, right? Like, okay, Brazil has Petrobras, which is a naturalized gas company. Sure, okay, whatever. I think Argentina, the gun manufacturer, is like from the state. Okay, sure, like, but this is capitalism. Like, this is a free market in the U.S. I'm not really sure how that's going to play out. Yeah, and then they wanted X amount of revenue from Nvidia, and it's like, why would they pay taxes? Why would they give the government revenue? It doesn't make any sense.
They're looking for some cuts somewhere. They gotta be. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
So this NVIDIA H20 chip, which is the most powerful AI processor, they were told they can't sell to China. And somebody on Twitter, I forgot who it was. They were like, NVIDIA still has another company building this fucking chips for them, right? Like, they design it, they do the research and development, but somebody else still builds it. All it takes is like the warehouse to sell those secrets, or
Yep.
like, how many times has something been, copied from China, Japan, any of those, Vietnam, any of those manufacturing companies instantly, and then you get 500 fakes. So
Dude, I need
all
to
it
go
takes.
back. Speaking of Vietnam, I need to go back there. It's been fucking a decade, and I've heard that like the major cities have gone through this like crazy like expansion in what will we call it? I don't want to say urbanization, but that they are like catching up quite quickly with the rest of the Asian world. Whereas when I was there, it was still pretty like third worldish. Um, and I mean, like, sure, it's probably still a third world country, but I've heard that the tech has come a long way and that the cities are much cleaner than a decade ago. Which, living in the States, it's hard to grasp because our cities just get more and more destroyed as the years go on. I would say the one caveat to that is like, uh, and like people will not think so because of all the rumors and like news stories and stuff. But Chicago had done a great job cleaning up the downtown area. Like the downtown used to be like not dirty like New York where there's fucking like trash bags piled up all over the fucking street, but there were still like trash places. If you go there now downtown, there's like no trash anywhere on the streets. They have like
Good.
they're pretty strict about like littering, and they have tons of like garbage recycling on every corner. Um,
All
and
it
I
takes is
think
a
that's
plan to fix all that shit. That's what I don't get. Did you
no
see
no.
the?
Here's the thing though, right? They just shove it underneath. That's the big difference. Like New York doesn't have like the underground streets the way that Chicago does, and you'll see that like, and because it's right, maybe there's tons of underground networks that we don't know about. Some were exposed not that long ago by a certain group of people. but
Alan from Alon. What's his name?
I won't say. I don't want us to
Flan?
be demonetized or lose our channel. But in Chicago, they just have there's like Lower Wacker and streets like that where you can just drive underneath the city, and that's where you see all of not all but the majority of like the homeless population and a lot of the trash that gets accumulated down there. Whereas the streets up top are very clean outside of like
Of course,
like,
just
true ghetto.
fucking putting your problems underground, hiding it from the population's eyesight.
The gold covered turd.
The golden bean. The golden bean. Okay, so here's the thing. The H20 was the most powerful chip that they could sell in China. Okay, it was essentially blocked, and then they were allowed to resume it in last month, I guess. And then they have the H100, which is the most powerful, the Blackwell series, and it's not allowed in China at all. So Alibaba. There's another company that I read about called MetaX. It's a Singapore company, I think. Like, they're just looking for alternatives. And even if you look at AMD, you would think that AMD would be, up there, their cousins, right? AMD, Lisa and Jensen are cousins. You would think that AMD would be like absolutely ripping, and it has been from the April tariffs, but it's nowhere near its all-time high, right? It's like $100 something off. It's 40% off. It's to get to the all-time high. It's off 30% from the all-time high. You would think that like AMD would pick up some slack, and they're just not. They're just everybody wants this NVIDIA chip. So until somebody creates something that competes with them, it's the golden choice, the Golden Choice Awards.
The Golden Choice Awards. What's going on in the fucking in the crypto world? We got everyone mass panicking right now. I'm seeing fucking people calling for all kinds of lows that seem pretty obnoxious.
It's usually when we bottom.
But I don't think we're in a bottom here though. I still think I think we're gonna go a little lower.
Well, think about it. We hit pretty much 5K. Not yet, but we're down 10%. No, we're down like 12% in ETH in 5 days. Just last Sunday, people were calling for the ETH 10K, ETH 20K, and now they're calling for ETH whatever 1K.
Not our resident ETH bull. The resident ETH bull was still cautious. I said I was surprised. I think we may hit 5, but maybe I get my wish. Oh, look, right now I am. What I say, end of month between 4 and 4,500, and and then I got shook a little bit. I was like, damn, maybe we do hit 5. Maybe I was wrong, but here we are, 29, 43.29.
I mean, gold is going for it today. That's not great. ESNQ is down. VIX is up. Crypto balls are up. Bitcoin down 4%. ETH down 4%. Memes are getting absolutely wrecked. I don't know. I think you start nibbling, dude. If you're not trading on 100x leverage, like if you buy between,
I'm a spot shed.
yeah,
no leverage in these markets right now. The only time it's worth using any leverage short term is when Sol outperforms BTC on the
Follow
daily.
me for more tips.
Yeah, if it does, just short
100x.
Short 100x, and you'll.
Did you see that the U.S. came out yesterday and said that they're looking for pathways? Okay, so you get all this good news, like, oh, we're going to put GDP on the blockchain, and they're going to partner with 7 different ones or 8 different ones. And
Bro, but then there's American Bitcoin that the Trump brothers are fucking putting on the stock exchange, where they own like 98% of it or some shit.
Yeah, and of course. And then the thing is GDP gets revised a couple times. Then they're going to put jobs on the blockchain. Jobs get fucking revised every time. Like, are they going to revise the blockchain? Like, we're putting it on the blockchain. Okay, that doesn't help anything. Like, sure. It's
What do
public
they
information,
mean by that? What are they even talking about? Are they
Yeah,
just
I don't
putting
even think
data?
they know what.
I don't think they. Yeah, exactly. I don't think they
Yeah.
know what they mean. Like,
Yeah.
are they just going to put all the data on chain? Great. Like, that's what it's for. I think that's one thing. Like, a lot of people get caught up in when they're in the industry or when they're like trading, their favorite tokens. They forget that like blockchains are just distributed databases. They are meant to put data on chain. It's the best indexed database, like, to put your data somewhere, right? Like, it's totally. I think I've always seen this happening where eventually companies and governments will catch on that, hey, if we remove all the magic, like, what is this, right? And it's just a mutable distributed database. And guess what? Like, we can index it and we can prune it how we want to and keep the data that we'd like. And it really doesn't get better than that for storing data.
Imagine that. So they're going to put GDP on the blockchain, and they came out and said, oh yeah, that they want to look at ways to let U.S. people trade on Binance, Bybit, all of this shit.
There
Which
goes
they already
Paulo's GDP.
did. No, they already did. They already told them that they have to do the US one, that there's no leverage, or that there's only margin, like how in TradFi works. They already
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you look at, okay, like, I don't think what they mean by that is like we're going to allow those companies to create U.S. versions, right? They're saying like uh, the easiest thing for them to do would just be to say U.S. residents are allowed to trade on offshore exchanges. Offshore exchanges need to produce and report or give us customer data when requested.
No,
Like,
no. It's factor reporting. You just have to give it.
yeah, like that makes
Yeah.
everything so much easier. You wouldn't have people doing the things that they do now, where they're doing funky, offshore residencies and things like that to skirt around regulation, skirt around paying tax, and they would collect all the money that they want to.
Yeah, or just let the U.S. exchanges have perps.
And that
Like,
too.
like just have Coinbase have like how Coinbase isn't fighting this. Like, come on, guys.
I think Coinbase. I think once this happens, Coinbase gets wrecked, dude. Like, because let's face it, like Binance, shit, even Bybit,
It's
Kraken
much better.
are
It's much
are
better.
yeah, they're better experiences for
Yeah.
actually trading.
Yeah,
Coinbase
I
is
agree.
great for off ramping if you're a U.S. citizen, and other than that, I can't really see why you'd want to trade volume there.
Yeah, unless
Other
you get
than
like some
other
like
than not having
institutional
access,
size,
right?
right? Like their trading desk or whatever, right? Like, and you're just a big firm, big fund, and you don't care. You're like, whatever, across the spread, they're going to do all our execution for us. All the ETF guys. Okay, sure, send it.
Kraken is miles better of an experience for a U.S. exchange if you're an actual trader. Like, I don't think anyone would argue that.
I think anywhere else is better. So people are arguing that this hurts hype, and this hurts not DEXs in general because you still have the non KYC thing, but it hurts new onboarding new users. It's just like Robinhood, right? Like we talked about this. Like it's like changing your broker. People aren't going to change Robinhood, change their broker. Once they're in bed with some exchange and they have that, um, exclusivity, perks, benefits, whatever, they feel at home. They're not leaving, right? So if the U.S. can approve these other exchanges for U.S. residents or U.S. citizens, yeah, Coinbase probably gets shreked in terms of new users unless they add, the 6 hour candle or whatever, whatever new tech that they're doing. What did they do? They added the 4 hour candle. Like that's their innovation.
Yeah, that was their big announcement.
Like, come on,
We
guys.
have
Like,
4-hour candles.
yeah, come on. So, they're going to need perps. They're going to need options. They bought Deribit, so that's probably a good strategic move in general, right? Just not to get forced out or
Yeah,
dated out, but like, oh, you don't have perps, your fees are insane, your customer service is absolutely terrible. Even if you have like a direct line to them,
it's
it's
still
still
bad.
terrible.
The
Yeah, it's
fact
still
that you have
terrible.
to go on Twitter and you have to like fucking harass the founder in order to get a response is insane.
And I don't get it. They make money. Just
Just
go
hire
hire.
people. You're a U.S. company. I get it's going to be a lot of overhead, but just fucking hire U.S. people to run your support.
Put them in some flyover state, dude, in a warehouse, in a call center, and you talk to a real person. They check in every day. It's the same team. Like, you have good customer support, and people will stay. But
They
it's
don't even have to
absolutely
be all from the US, right? Like I worked at a support team for a crypto company fucking almost a decade ago. And we were global. We had people all over the place, but
Oh yeah, you need timing, right?
it was US like how can I put this?
Focused.
Yeah, it was like a US focused support where like users are the most important thing, right? And like it was the whole idea of like it was like white glove support was like the idea of
Mm-hmm.
it. It doesn't matter how much they're spending, the user's important. The sentiment that user has about our product is important because we don't want them going and talking bad about it. Let's
Yeah,
see.
that's
Lucas
how
is
it should be.
saying Coinbase or probably reminds him of Mercado Bitcoin in Brazil. Mercado charges 0.3% maker, 0.7% taker on retail. They don't even have transaction logs yet.
Yeah, they're insane, and it's like the biggest one. It's the biggest exchange in Latin America.
Which is fucking nuts. But yeah, so their big thing was white glove support, and it literally put them ahead of everyone else in their sector at the time. And the only other company that was doing something like that, I don't know if they still do, but back then was Ledger. Ledger had awesome support back in the day. It was like 97% success rate and like happiness rating. Like people were really happy with the type of support they got from Ledger back in 2016, 2017, 2018. I don't know how it is now. I haven't had to reach out
Now.
to support in fucking
Zero.
forever. Yeah, probably
Coinbase
zero.
level.
But that is something that the industry has moved away from, and they need to come back to. Is like, we talk about user experience all the time, and people focus on like the UX of an app, like, oh, the one that's going to win is the one with the best UX, the one with the most seamless experience, the one that abstracts away chains and the chain that the token's on just lets you trade and spend things. But the UX is like, it's multifaceted. You have to have good support as well, because when you're onboarding new users and they don't know what the fuck they're doing, if they reach out and it takes 5 fucking emails till they get to a human and that human can help them, and that's a week later, they've already lost money probably. And now they're
Yeah, it's too late. It's too late. It's too late.
And that was the thing that like the company I was working for drilled into our head. So like, look, this may be like, fun for everyone because it's new and it's crypto and like, you have the opportunity to make money and new types of money games. But at the end of the day, this is finance. And when people reach out, they're in a state of stress because something's happened with their money, whether that's they're just having connection issues and the money's not appearing, even though it's there in their wallet. It's your job to show them on chain that the money's there, and then show them how, different ways that they could possibly fix, the connection issue they're having so that their money's displaying properly. If they've sent money, on the wrong chain to the address because they share the same address format, it's your job to show them that the money's safe, the money's there, and the safest method to extract that, without putting themselves in a position where they're going to get exploited or their keys are now exposed. And because we've moved to this world of dApps where most teams are like a front-end developer, a back-end developer, a smart contract dev, and a community manager, like there's no one there that understands like design maturity, user experience, or support. And if you're a big company that's fucking making 9 figures a year or doing 9 figs in volume, there's zero reason why you should be spending millions and millions on payroll and you don't have like good support. It's not expensive.
Oh, Coinbase revenue is like $7 billion. It's like
Gemini was negative. Did you see that?
Really?
Gemini spent almost as much as they made on payroll.
Jesus.
It's like, who are you? What are you paying these people for? Nobody even fucking trades there.
They reported a loss, dude.
Yeah, they
reported
lost like $1,000.
No,
It's
they
like
208, a net loss of 282 million on revenue of 68 million in the last 6 months. Jesus. Yeah, but who trades there, right? Like,
that's what I'm saying. Who trade? Why are you paying so much in look at their payroll. Look at how much they're paying in payroll.
dude, look at that. What's that other one that just IPO'd? Bullish. The stock was
Bullish.
just like
Yeah,
straight
Bullish.
down. Yeah, BLSH. It's literally just straight
Because
down.
dude, who is going to trade there? Like, there's the thing with these things are like there's already a moat, right? And if like you're not starting in a position where you're accumulating users with low overhead, like what are you even doing? Like nobody's fucking going to come trade on Bullish Exchange just because it's fucking on the New York Stock Exchange.
No, and it's hard in the US, right? Like if you have access to emerging markets, I think that's where, the money could be made. But trying to do it in the US over and over and over again, there's only so many people that are trading this shit.
Let's look at this fucking BTC chart because there's a lot happening on BTC. You got Lombard, LBTC, they're bringing yield-bearing BTC to Solana DeFi. 1.5 billion supply-side liquidity staked across Bitcoin now earns about 1% BTC yield on Solana. Not much, but
how are they doing that? Lending, borrowing, lending? Like,
let's see what Lombard's doing.
Haven't we just been through this cycle before?
Liquid staking. Let's see.
What is it on Wrapped Bitcoin on Sol?
Yeah. Well, they have their own. It's called LBTC, which is like
LBTC,
their liquid
okay.
stake BTC.
Got it.
Let's see. Embedded staking rewards directly into the token's value. Partners like Drift, Jupiter, Camino, Meteora, Oracle providers such as Pyth, Redstone, positioning
So lending.
LBTC as a base asset and trading in liquidity strategies, which isn't a bad idea, dude. I said this during when we were on our V2, and Blast was coming out. I was like, Blast is such a stupid fucking protocol because all it takes is for everyone to have consensus that that Steth or Wrap Steth should now be the base asset across DeFi, and you've just replaced Blast, right? Use XDAI instead of DAI, and you have yield-bearing base assets for everything. And like, why would you need a separate blockchain for that? You don't.
Well,
right?
Look at Blast now, 0.
I said that, back when they launched, that it was a fucking 0. And
All of these new ones are
I got
0.
laughed at.
Monad, all this shit is 0. Dude, they don't care. They care for the
I'm
rewards
generally
or the
interested in
perks.
like what the Monad and even Mega, like I've Mega's the one I've kind of had my eye on. Like what the game plan is to kind of put themselves ahead of the pre-existing networks that already have all these advancements that are going on. Like you have Arbitrum. As much as I'm an Arbitrum bull, right? Like I'm saying this from my unbiased side. They've been fucking killing it this year, onboarding Robinhood, all the Orbit chain deployments that they're doing, fucking bringing ZK deposits withdrawals there through Success that partner with Tandem. Like you have all these things that I personally look at, like, TVL and speed and all that kind of shit. You have to include all of the L2s when you talk about Ethereum because they use ETH as their security layer, right? Yeah. Everything settles to Ethereum. So like, how do you compete with that? And I'm not saying that as though they can't. That's like an open-ended question. Like, what are you going to do that's going to put you ahead or give you a competitive edge against them? And for Mega, right, it's throughput. It's like, being essentially like the Hyperliquid of L2s, you could think of, where they're totally fine saying like, hey, look, there's parts of our infrastructure that are centralized. We're totally fine in public about that. And because of that, we're able to provide a better experience than you can get on other L2s and other EVM compatible L1s that are in existence right now. But they don't have, I don't really see them having right now the like app layer down where the app layer is competing, or like, money games for people to want to take that vacation over to Mega. When I talk about that, like nation state theory, right? Like people are going to want to go on vacation and go try out the new games, the new rides, make some money or lose money at the new casinos, and then they go back home. But like, what is there that I can do over there that I can't do on some other network, right? Like, sure, there's Cap Finance that has, there's stable coins. You've got TGE, that's perps, but like, how are they going to take from, let's say for Cap, right? How do you compete with Plasma? And for TGE, how are you going to compete with Hyperliquid or Gains or something like that? Like something that already has like shit tons of TVL and volume. What is the hook, to pull people over?
There is none. It's an exit scam. It's a gold rush. People will come for the perks, the rewards, the points, the airdrop, and then once that happens, they leave. We've seen it over and over and over again. And then sure, there's something that sticks. But like, it's one thing that sticks, not all of them stick. One new thing sticks, not 10 new things. So that's
like in our early days when we were deciding on where we wanted to build, we chose Arbitrum for the tech because it was, Arbitrum and Optimism were both launching. Not only that, but the onboarding experience. Optimism was kind of gated, and Arbitrum was very open to anyone. It was like, if you want to come build here, let us know, and we'll make sure that you're set up, to deploy. Whereas Optimism, there was some I won't say red tape. There's some yellow tape, to kind of get set up in the beginning. So it was like, okay, Arbitrum has better tech and it's an easier onboarding experience. So let's go there. And I still think to this day, 4 years later, that's still the case, that Arbitrum's onboarding experience is better. They will kind of handhold as well as help promote and put you into contact with other synergistic protocols. The only thing that I would say they need improvement on is proactively doing that. Like, they will do anything for you if you go and ask them and you go tell them you need the thing. But they don't have good liaisons that are like, oh, you're new, the project looks like it'll be something cool or it'll be big. Let us make sure that you win, right? And that's something that I think Mega does really well, where they had their Mega Mafia. Some people don't like that there's like this kind of incubator where they're kind of choosing winners, supposedly. But I didn't really see it like that, as choosing winners. I saw it as like, if you had a product that you wanted to build there, go pitch it to them. They will bring you in and then help you like to success, which we saw with TGE. TGE kind of, they went on and they were doing Series A or something with like A16Z and some other people after they did their first raise on Mega. They did like an echo
but
raise.
don't you want that curated help? Like maybe if it's not decentralized in terms of how they pick it, maybe there's some confusion there or some,
I think that's what they do. I think that's Mega's, biggest like shining light, is that they will, if you come and pitch to them and they see it as a winner, they're going to make sure that they help you, through the whole process.
Yeah, that's great. What's wrong with that?
That is the one area that I think Arbitrum could do better. But other than that, the onboarding and the tech is there. So it's like you can do anything you want. You want to build out your own chain. You want to use your own asset as the base asset, as the gas token. You want different parameters set for your chain. You can do all of that on Orbit chains. It's a closed. It's essentially like your own closed off like execution environment, but you're still able to use the security of Arbitrum as well as settle to Ethereum. So like, it's kind of the best of all worlds when you're looking to do something, when you're looking to build your own chain, but not be on your own, like be your own L1. And I still think that, Stripe and Robinhood will do that. I think they're going to go Orbit eventually. There's no reason. I don't see them needing their own L1s.
You'll just have Robinhood token.
Well, they'll still be Robinhood chain, right? But it will be secured by Ethereum on through an Orbit, like running on Arbitrum. And sure, they could use Hood token as their gas token. Like, they don't need to they could use USDC if they want to. You can use whatever you want. And that's kind of the beauty of it. You can write in any language you want using Stylus. You have a bunch of Rust devs and you want to write contracts in Rust, you can do that. You want to write in assembly, you can do that.
Yeah, that's huge.
So
when do we see everything put on chain?
We're seeing it right now. You're literally seeing it happen, in real time. Like Chainlink added U.S. Commerce Department, macroeconomic feeds. You've got, we just talked about the U.S. government wanting to put the GDP on chain.
Yeah.
Like you're seeing right now, it start to happen where everything's going on chain. And I've talked about it before, like even the way what Jesse talks about, like putting everything on chain, everything will be a token. I think everything will be, but not in the way that, other people think. Like, not everything needs to have liquidity and be tradable the way that Bitcoin and ETH are, just to be on chain. Like, it makes perfect sense to have all, I don't know, fucking canned tuna on chain, right? Because you can track. It makes perfect sense for every fish caught to rather than just be like a number and a barcode somewhere, to be on chain, right? Because then you can track when it was caught. You can track the distribution and logistics of where it went, and everything's accounted for. Which is going back to what I was saying. When you remove the like magic from blockchains and stuff, do we have bonds trading on chain? We do have like synthetic bonds on chain, but we don't have like we haven't had like issuers of bonds put bonds on chain. So yeah, I think we will, though. I don't think it's very long before we do see something like that.
No, and if TradFi finds a product that they can sell and they can make money on it, they're going to sell it. That's what the argument always is.
Yeah.
So if there's money to be made, they're gonna show it and they're gonna sell it. And Fink will be at the forefront of all of that.
Dude, Lucas, me and Marty have been talking about this. Like, imagine like when you can put on basis trades for something other than just fucking, spot assets. Like, you can do basis on CME and stuff like that. Like, once that goes, yeah, long and short US bonds on chain. I'm pretty sure you can, just it's synthetic right now. But it's like I fucking hate synthetics. Not synthetics the protocol, although I'm not much of a fan of that either. But I think synthetics are fucking stupid. But yeah, I think we're going to be able to do that in the not so distant future. We'll be able to long and short US bonds on chain.
No, it becomes instant settlement, right? So, and these banks should just partner or buy, people working in the space, bring it all in house, make all the money instead of, oh, we don't want to do that. Like even Vanguard still doesn't have a ETF. If you're on your account, you can't even buy it. Like,
but
what?
TradFi is waking up to this. Tom Lee was just talking about this kind of shit the other day about the instant settlement thing, about the friction that you have in TradFi versus when he was talking about stablecoins on Ethereum, the ability to like instantly transact, instantly settle, not have to wait, the 1 to 3 days, not being offline, because markets are closed or banks are closed. So TradFi is waking up to this, and they have their cheerleader fucking, shilling the benefits of being on chain.
Well, that's the future. Instant settlement, instant gratification. I just don't know how much TradFi is going to be receptive of working weekends.
Of what?
Working weekends.
Yeah.
All the New Yorkers are like, no, fuck that. We don't want to do that.
Oh. I told you, Marty, we just need to start our own protocol that abides by TradFi rules. We close when the market closes. We close on weekends. We only accept institutional deposits.
Love that. I mean, somebody will build it and somebody will get bought out for sure. I think this TradFi is just going to go out and accumulate, businesses instead of going out and building themselves.
Dude, we just saw another huge stablecoin raise. There's one by Visa called Rain that raised $58 million from like Samsung, Sapphire, Dragonfly, Galaxy, Endeavor, Lightspeed, Norwest. They build themselves as providing enterprise-grade infrastructure for stablecoin powered payments. Interesting. Okay. So they're trying to be like what, the Stripe of
crypto? Bridge. They're trying to be like Bridge. Well, Stripe bought Bridge.
Yeah.
It's insane, dude. Insane. These
enterprise interest stablecoins have surged following the Genius Act in the U.S. and the MiCA framework in Europe, which have created a clear regulatory path for adoption, is what Rain was saying. So stablecoins are, many people's eyes, poised to be one of crypto's largest growth areas, which they are. Some valuing the market and reaching trillions of dollars in a few years. Big U.S. banks like
all-time high like issuance is just up into the right. You can go look at that. That's like.
Yeah, Bank of America is interested in issuing their own stablecoin now under Trump. Regulatory clarity around the USD peg token has been established. And currently Tether, they have 167 billion in circulation, but they're still second to USDC. USDC is what? Let's see, 271.5 bill.
Wow. I thought it was the other way. I thought it was Tether, then Circle.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Tether is 168-ish billion, and Circle USDC is just under 70 billion, as it should be.
Yeah, but those numbers are just climbing. Just stablecoin issuance is just climbing.
If I were to pull up here, I'll show you this one. It's just like.
Are we gonna bottom here? or nuke it over the weekend.
I don't know what's Sol doing.
The biggest loser of the day, Sol, so far. Down 5%.
So look, yeah, see, just year to date, up and to the right, all time. Look at that. That doesn't even look unhealthy. You know, that looks good.
Let's take a Twitter poll. Higher or lower Monday open?
Here, look, exactly what I was talking about, right? Like how I think of L2s right now, I think of them with ETH. I combine all the metrics and I look at that as like Ethereum metrics. Ethereum Foundation aims to make L2s feel like one chain with interoperability framework. The latest protocol update centers on Intense, a trustless interoperability layer and common standard to make cross-layer to activity feel seamless. We've talked. Me and Frog used to talk about this all the time. Like Intense are the future. To be able to just say like, I need this for this, and then the path be non-path dependent, and for solvers to be out there and find what you need and connect you from point A to point B, do all the work between. That kind of is the future. And now that we have agents that are, you know, being built to kind of do a lot of this stuff, it's going to feel pretty seamless.
So Cozy, higher or lower Monday open?
Monday open. I'll tell you tomorrow. I need to see what we do on the weekend. Well, I'll tell you today by the time we close today what I think. If they like to pump it into the weekend, which if they do, then if they pump it too hard, then we know that Monday's not going to look good.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is last weekend they tried to go for it, and it's like, why are you guys trying to go for it on all
Sunday.
time? To drag in buys, you know, to liquidate them the next fucking day or this week.
Bro, actually, you know what? We were talking about the whole offshore thing. I just saw an article from yesterday that CFTC is opening the door for Web3 exchanges via FBOT registration, which will allow offshore crypto platforms to register as FBOTs to legally serve U.S. traders. So let's see what they're located in the CFTC issued staff letter 2527, an advisory affirming that offshore derivative exchanges, including those listing crypto products, can legally be accessed by U.S. participants if they register as a foreign board of trade. So they have to come in and register. This clarifies that located in the U.S. refers to physical presence, not legal domicile, and that these exchanges need not become designated contract markets to serve U.S. traders. So for Web3 DEXs and crypto native platforms, this represents a critical turning point by lowering structural hurdles and codifying a clear on-ramp through FBOT registration. CFTC is effectively signaling that offshore platforms can integrate into U.S. markets under defined conditions without resorting to broad geographic blocking or being forced into full domestic exchange registration. The agency is also positioning FBOT registration as a tool to shift trading activity into a more transparent and compliant environment, reducing their reliance on regulatory enforcement after the fact. In recent months, the agency has rescinded old crypto-specific staff advisories, including those on digital asset derivatives and clearing risk, prioritizing regulatory clarity over punitive action. This dovetails with FAM's vision of supporting responsible innovation as seen in initiatives like the Crypto CEO Forum and Digital Asset Sandbox Division. I need to look into what they require for these FBOTs a bit, because it's still like some of these entities are not going to want to come in and register, and they would rather just, you know, they would rather say, why deal with the US at all when we can just deal with the rest of the world?
Well, that's what like Swiss banks do now. They're like, they have to do factor reporting for US customers. So they're like, are you a US citizen? Yes. Then we don't work with you. Like
Yeah.
we cater to everybody else. It's a one tick question. You know, of course there's KYC on that end, right? But it's like, come on, guys, make it not make it easier, but create like rules, a path to be regulated, And there is, but even you saw Coinbase, like, oh, they're regulated. Oh, they're public on the U.S. stock exchanges. Oh, they're, they have offices in the U.S. They hire U.S. people. They live in the U.S. All this stuff, and they were still getting attacked. Like up until this new administration, they were getting lawsuits, attacked.
Yeah, even
All kinds of.
Uniswap, dude. Uniswap Labs was being attacked because they created the software and they lived in Brooklyn. Like,
Yeah, and it's like, okay, so now it's about creating like clear-cut rules, clear-cut path, clear-cut guidelines to, being legit, being regulated, collecting user data correctly, submitting, reporting correctly. Like that's if you want to play in the US or I guess even in Europe now, right? The Mika, is it Mika, MICA?
yeah, Micah or Mika.
License, Micah. Yeah, Singapore, you need a license, but a lot of these exchanges originally used to be more um, like, I don't know, like in different geological areas, like Asian exchanges, American exchanges, even Mercado Bitcoin, Latin America. Now you're seeing these exchanges try to go global, and they're running into a lot of regulatory shit. Coinbase is trying to do Coinbase Brazil. All Brazilian entities, crypto entities now have to collect. They have a .br. It's a different website. It's a different KYC. They report, to the Brazilian version of the IRS. It's what they were trying to do in the U.S., but ultimately failed. I don't think that there's perps and shit in Portuguese, but if you switch it to English, it's like there's everything, right? Because you can't solicit derivatives in Portuguese to Brazilian retail without a
Yeah.
license. So now they're opening up the path to get all these licenses and all of this. But what's funny is all of the sports betting is like getting streamlined. So they have sports betting
It's
licenses.
ridiculous, dude, because sports betting is like, in my opinion, the most degenerate like form of gambling that exists.
And it's like streamlined now. It's regulated. They can buy, the green light to go get licenses. And I think the license is, I say only, but only like $6 million.
Whenever I talk to someone
betting.
and they're really into sports betting, the only thing it tells me is that they're either really stupid or they're an absolute degenerate. And like those aren't mutually exclusive, but they sometimes run very close to one another.
It's not like, okay, sure, you put $20 on the game or some crazy parlay, $10. Okay, sure. But like, oh, you're betting thousands and thousands of dollars on a sports game is a little stupid. Especially when sports is so unpredictable. Oh, the main player breaks an ankle, the fucking guy hits a home run, like yesterday there was some baseball game. The guy hit like 4 home runs or something in one game. Like baseball is, totally insane now. Like I saw some of the scores, it's like 15-0. You're like, what? Like you couldn't fucking score once?
Dude, Jake Paul fucking fights. Like, I mean, dude, come on.
Oh, sure, but $10. Okay, sure, whatever. To feel something, sure, but thousands and there's this. I think it's on HBO. I think it's called Action. It's all follows the life of these sports bettors. The only guy that makes like the most money is the guy who sells his picks. So he like is a degenerate gambler, was basically at zero, then picked like the MLB champion one year, the hockey champion one year, made a couple million, and then started selling his picks to people. Spend like thousands of dollars a month on his picks
and lose money.
And yes, probably still lose money. And that's where he makes, dude, it was something insane. Like, he has thousands of people paying hundreds or thousands of dollars a day, every day. It was insane. I think his name is Dave, Vegas Dave. Yeah, that's him, dude. So good.
Vegas Dave.
Vegas Dave, #1 sports betting consultant to make money. His email, vegasdave@yahoo.
The thing is that these gamblers aren't autistic enough. They're just retarded. Like you look at someone like what's his name, Mickey, whatever, the fucking Baccarat guy. Like, he's straight autistic. Like when you hear him talk about like how he like got better, it's like he would sit down and he'd play so much that he started analyzing like the way he could manipulate dealers, right? Because he's like, you got to think about Baccarat, and that dealer is throwing a ball and spinning.
No, roulette.
Roulette. Sorry.
Yeah, they sit at that fucking table all day. They can definitely hit the number.
Yes. He's like, they can hit the number within 2-3 numbers, right? So like the goal of you is to throw them off. Like you got to tell, he tells them like, hey, look at me, right? Before they throw it. Because like, if they're not watching, that's like Steph Curry going up for a free throw and someone like screaming out his name, you know, who's on the court and distracting him while he's taking the shot.
Yeah.
And then obviously like understanding patterns, you know, and like doing other autistic shit to like be able to like Phil, what's his name? The guy that fucking got popped, but
Phil Ivey.
you know, yeah, Phil Ivey didn't go to jail because he wasn't cheating, but you know, lost the lawsuits and got sued because of
that's an interesting
what he's
story.
doing.
So
It's
the
super
car,
interesting because if you get caught cheating, it's 5 years in prison, like period. Like you're going to jail.
Yeah, but
And-
he got like 2 or 3 casinos to agree to his terms and use specific cards. So
Yep.
the lawsuit was that he, you know, manipulated or for false. He wasn't lying, you know, he wasn't cheating, but he had some unfair edge. It wasn't fair play.
He took the odds away from the house and he put the odds in his hand, right?
Yeah. Well, and it was funny because he made his bet after the cards were dealt, so he could look at the card and know what, you know, was
Know which
under.
ones were there.
So good, so good.
So for those of you that don't follow, what he did was when cards are cut at the factory, like they're cut in a certain way to where there are going to be imperfections on the card naturally, right? So he studied and learned the way that so essentially you have like X-ray vision, because even if the card's facing down, you could look at the edges of the card, and if you know how those cards are cut, you'll know which card has certain imperfections on it by the way that it was cut. And that's what he did. And he had another woman that was with him that was also very prolific in doing this. And one of his conditions were that she was able to accompany him there. So he had a backup. He had someone to be able to check his work essentially, and vice versa. That, you know, her calls, he was able to check as well, kind of. And he set a bunch of other conditions, right, that he was able to do there, like being able to bet afterwards. And he took like 15 mil from one and like, you know, a few mil from the other. And his mistake was that he didn't take the money. He didn't make them give him the money then. Like the one casino, he said, yeah. The other casino was like, oh no, we don't have it here. We're going to wire it to you. And then they never did. Then he started going after him about it. They said, yeah, you come get it. You can come here. He went to them. And then that's when the trouble, you know.
All from a specific cut or specific, you know, card manufacturer, studying the freaking card manufacturer. And it's totally insane. But he lost both of those lawsuits. And
Yep.
Not great.
He had to pay. He didn't get the money from the one casino, paid him, and he got off with that. And while he was waiting for the wire from the other one, they were doing their investigation to find out how he was able to do that. And then when they had him come, they knew by the time that they called him and said, you got to come to us if you want the money. So then while they were suing him, or while he was in court with them about it, the other casino sued him to get the money back because they saw the case that was built against him by the other casino, knew that he did the same thing to them, and then they, you know, sued him to get their money back. So he ended up losing the money he already walked away with from one casino, never got his money, but owed money back to the other casino and got kind of fucked. But in reality, he shouldn't have. He should have gotten all that money because he didn't cheat. Because if he would have cheated, he would have went to jail, which is why it's such a crazy story.
Insane. Insane. What else we got? We've been live for what, like an hour? Almost.
Dude, I mean, the only other thing really going on are shit we talked about. You know, like spot Ethereum ETF saw 307 mil daily inflows the other day, which beat, you know, Bitcoins. And they've been beating Bitcoins pretty consistently. Obviously not year to date, but over the last couple months, it seems like we've talked about it plenty. Like ETH is in its own world, is not really following or tied to BTC at the moment. obviously tied to the macro, like macro environment looks like shit. Everything's going down. Or if Sol wants to outperform, then we know it's going to go down, but that's about it.
If Sol bounces over the weekend, it's over.
Yeah. We talked about like, when is everything going on chain? Like we also have in the Philippines, their senator wants the national budget on the blockchain. So like, it seems like every country in the world right now is looking at how can we start putting our data on chain. And I think by, it's 2025 now, 5 years, I think we're going to be in a much different world where governments have tons of data on chain and products are on chain. And
well, that's the future. Probably within 6 months to a year, we start seeing more and more product offerings or, more GDP revisions put on chain.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, text me.
We never talked about Yeezy. We never talked about the Yeezy token. We were meaning to talk about it.
Did he really come out and say that he was hacked after posting like a video? Was that true?
There's no way he said he was hacked, dude.
Okay. So that was like a meme. I'm following for the internet.
It had to have been like, bro, he was posting about fucking the Yeezy token, I think. And the crazy thing about it is like, it was, I don't know. I know a couple of people that made money because they were doing, kind of like MEV type strats on Solana, I guess you could say. But other than that, you had 52,000, wallets that were trading Yeezy, and almost all of them lost money. 73% of holders lost money. 51,862 wallets lost 74.8 million, while 11 addresses booked $1 million plus. 11. 52,000 lost 75 million, and 11 addresses made over $1 million.
11. Well, and those 11 were one person.
The crazy thing is, no, it was like a group of friends. Like you saw them bragging about it on on Instagram and fucking, all the Zoomer fucking, shorts and shit they were sharing around about how their friend told them about the launch, and they made, obviously they aren't the ones that made the millions, but they made like 6 figures and stuff like that because they have, no money. But it was just a total, like how many times are we going to let Yeezy launch a token or someone launch a token for Yeezy and rape the Solana trenches? I just don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand what the appeal is for buying celebrity coins.
No, it's this get rich quick thing, and it seems that it's like not one of them has. Well, the only one that actually ran up was Trump, and then of course got nuked right after that. But that one actually held steady for more than 12 hours.
I tweeted about the other day, but dude, I think the trenches are fucking dead, and like I don't know why anyone would even want to participate after this. There was there was someone that launched a token that was about the it was like named after the victim of that like shooting that happened. It was like, guys, the guy in the video is not called Victor. Victor is the guy who saved his friend. This is Victor. This is his best friend, as said in the video, in the same school they go to. Why are people buying the wrong one? And then the guy listed a fucking you see,
we
lost me too, I think. We were all offline.
We got lost.
But you see this type of shit happening where people are like, trying to make money off of like the hardships of others in real life. And like, why would anyone want to support that kind of shit? It doesn't make any sense to me. That would be, I had some friends who are like, who they know how I feel about all that kind of shit. And usually they're the ones making money on it. And they were so disgusted by this that they said, like, I think I'm going to hang up. I think I'm hanging the gloves up, dude. No more trenches for me. I had people in my group chat saying, what's the problem? Like, kids die every day in the trenches. And it's just like, dude, what the fuck are you saying? Like, I know that most of you are like moralists and don't have any ethics, but like that is like a type of low that I just can't imagine like stooping to. And why I would never want to associate with someone that like stooped that low. I don't care if people trade meme coins. Like we all know memes are zero sum, but they're like funny and fun in the moment. They're a way to make money if you don't have a big bankroll. But like you got to draw a line somewhere.
No, what's fucked up is the people that make money in the trenches, then they don't just like, pull out USDC and go fucking get 5% yield or, put it in ETH and go, or Bitcoin or whatever. And
Bro, like these kids are in their 20s. They could set themselves up for early retirement. Like, dude, just take fucking like 40 grand out a year and shove it in some fucking retirement fund or high yield savings account, fucking brokerage account, and start building up your fucking retirement, funds. Like, why not take at least something off the table? Why are you unemployed? Do nothing but stream and trade in the trenches and take $0, 0 chips out of the casino.
Oh, I don't know.
I'll never
Even
understand.
if it's fucking $2,000, you know what I mean? $5,000, like a month, you know what I mean? $60,000 a year. You make $1 million and people don't take 1% of it out. You're like, what the fuck? It's some autism.
I take back what I said. Kind of the ones that I don't understand are the multi-cyclers that still do this. I get it if it's your first cycle, you have to lose money and like you have to get slapped in the face with like with massive loss to like come to the realization that okay, this is cyclical. Things don't go up forever. Next time this happens, I'm not going to make the same mistakes. But the people that do this over and over again, that have been doing this
12 years.
8, 12 years, like I just don't. There's no hope for you, man. Go fucking go put my Gatorades in the bag. Right?
There's no hope for you.
Put my Gatorades in the bag, bro.
Yeah. There's a news flash. Burgers have a holiday on Monday, so it will actually be Tuesday open.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe we see a little Labor Day scam pump because markets are closed and
people forget that it's closed.
Yeah.
And then the bots like just turn on Monday. Nice.
Yep. That could happen, to be honest.
Love that. All right, I gotta jump.
Yep.
Text me your prediction. We'll publicly tweet it out. But Tuesday open.
We'll be back. I don't know. You want to stream Tuesday, or we'll just see everyone Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
We could do a Monday if there's some time. Ooh, look at that. What is that?
Man.
Why does it look so full? What happened?
Dude, yesterday I had to scroll. The shit was like full.
Yeah, because price moved. So there's a new when there's new strikes, you have to.
Oh, I know. I get it. I'm just letting the people know. Like it, I should have taken a picture. It looked fucking sexy. I was like, holy shit.
Like we didn't think that it was going to go from 4,500 to 4,300 in a day. So this is the testnet. Bitcoin and ETH you can trade if you're in the testnet group. RFQ will be set up next week. And do we have a launch date? Do we have a testnet launch date?
We are. I had to push it back. I'm going to drop an announcement today in our alpha group chats. I'm pushing it back. I thought I would have them testing this weekend. We're still integrating some of the on-chain components. I want to get a little bit more internal testing done to make sure that deposits are seamless because I've been having every once in a while I run into some issues with some of the deposits.
Okay.
But we're getting really close.
My body's ready.
Close.
My body is ready. Dude, we might bounce here, dude. I'm not a TA guy, but
we could.
We might.
I need to know what Sol. Well, I need to know what Sol's doing right now. Hold on, let me pull it up.
Pull up that Sol.
I need to see the Sol ETH chart. If Sol's outperforming, we're fucked for the weekend. It's so sad that this is the. Oh my God, no.
Is it outperforming the 1 minute chart?
Oh, bro.
It's actually the worst down on the day still. Bitcoin down 3.4%, ETH down 3.8%, Sol down 4.46%. So we still have some time, some saving grace.
That's why I said I'll tell you by the end of the day.
Dude,
I
look
mean,
at
I can
that
just see it.
Baba, dude. Pull a Baba on the fucking, yep, on that thing.
Pull a Baba.
That Babas. Dude, competing head to head. Those,
Bro, what the fuck?
yeah, boom.
Look at that.
Earnings,
Woo!
and go to like the 4-hour chart, something that Coinbase doesn't have. Dude, just up. Nasty work.
Look at that.
Just
That is
up.
gross.
Competing with Nvidia, boom. Oh, somebody had to, dude. It's up 13% today. 12.90. Keep an eye on that Babas.
Insane work over on the Babas.
Alrighty, we'll see.
But look at all this, dude. This is like all just fucking.
What is that? That's 2025. Yeah, it's up like a lot this year. The Baba is up. It's up 60% year to date. Pretty good. Solid win this morning, of course.
Yeah,
it's nowhere near that fucking 2020 hype.
But here, 2024 through 2025.
Dude, 2020 was $300, dude. And then the thing went down 80%. The thing went down 80% over 700 days, over 723 days. Over 2 fucking years, it just went straight down.
Crazy.
That's insane. Insane. All right, we'll see you Wednesday.
For our burgers, enjoy one of the most important holidays of the year. For our Euros, I know you won't understand, but hopefully things are getting a bit cooler there. I know you guys were suffering quite a bit with the heat waves going on.
Oh God forbid it, they don't have AC and it goes to, 80
I was
degrees.
talking to a Euro friend of mine and I was asking,
It's only
like,
26.
I was like, why do you guys not have central air? It just doesn't make sense to me. And he laid it out, and it's very logical, right? Like they're still living in fucking ancient buildings. Like they're living.
Yeah,
in
you can't.
It doesn't have they can't put in central air because
or you can't fuck with the building.
Yeah,
that's another thing. You can't put a box on the outside of the building or on the roof. You can barely, like in the center of Paris, you can barely even do any remodel or anything. Like it has to be true to, the OG standard. The new buildings are getting a central air and heating. The freezing countries have heaters, of course. Most of
which
Europe
I
has
respect.
heaters.
I will say that as much shit as I give them for not having central air and being fucking smelly, sweaty fucking pigs through the whole summer, I respect that that they stay true to kind of like withholding the old world aesthetic. And that's something that the US has totally lost. Like our architecture is as someone who like loves what me and DK call it is aesthetica, like the just kind of like idea and like
uniformity, like it all looks the same.
Yeah, like the aura around like old aesthetics and good aesthetics. Like there's nothing like European architecture, really.
Oh
truly. Yeah. And the US totally fit. Like what we do now is our architecture is built for turnover. We go, and you can see it in like, you see people freaking out right now about Cracker Barrel, right? But what they don't realize, they're like, it's not about DEI. It's not about fucking, LGBTQ shit. Like it has nothing to do with lefties like wanting Cracker Barrel to not seem fucking like some Southern like racist fucking thing. Look at every fast food chain, right? You look at McDonald's. Remember the way McDonald's used to look? Look at the new McDonald's.
Yeah,
they're all the same.
Yeah,
look at Taco Bell. Look at Pizza Hut. Look at every one of these fast food chains. They're all the fucking same. They're getting the same materials to build their buildings. And you know why? Because when Pizza Hut used to shut down and they'd shove a fucking, I don't know. They put a vape store in there. Everyone's like, oh, that's the vape store in the old Pizza Hut, Oh, the Pizza Hut with that's selling tires now. But when they have these fucking like really emotionless boxes that are all just fucking brown and fucking stone, you can rip off those signs, you can put whatever you want in it, and 5 years later, nobody will fucking remember that was a Taco Bell. It's just another fucking store. And that is like draining of like character, right? Like there's no character anymore in anything. It's just all fucking bare and emotionless. And I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
Yeah,
Which is
monstrosity
one thing
boxes.
that I do envy and I love about Europe, like that everything still holds that like old world aesthetic, and there's emotion there, and like you can appreciate the way that everything looks, and you just can't in the US. Everything sucks.
Yeah, and Europe is walkable. Europe has public transportation that actually works. You know, they have a lot of stuff still going for them. I think there's who's in France, who's in Paris, Ledger and Flowdesk. Wintermute is global, but their main thing is in London. You know, like a lot of people, you know, are outside of the US still.
Yeah. I mean, trust me, if I wanted to set up shop somewhere simply for like aesthetics, I would definitely like find somewhere in Europe.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, boys, enjoy the
fellas.
holiday. Don't get more wrecked than you already have, and we will see you back after the weekend.
Later.